Dear students, welcome back to my class. Today we are discussing with the topic, what is the morphology of Ascidia? As we are discussing the chapter Sapphirium Urochordata, we need to specify or we need to specifically study one type specimen, that is Ascidia. This is Ascidia and this is the corresponding systematic position of this particular organism, which is coming under the phylum Chordata, subphylum Urochordata, class Ascidiaceae and the genus Ascidia. So let's move to the detail of its morphology. Ascidia is a sedentary marine chordate. What is meant by sedentary? Organism which is always attached to a particular substratum is called a sedentary organism. So Ascidia is a sedentary organism and this is marine, always seen only in the seawater, attached to rocks or any other object which is present in the seawater. Okay, it is morphologically it is having a bag-like appearance which is cylindrical in shape, having 7 to 10 cm in length, with a broad base for attaching into a suitable substratum. If you are analyzing its morphology, you can see that it is provided with two apertures. One aperture is called branchial aperture or oral aperture or mouth, and another one is called atrial aperture. Okay, so let's see what is the difference between them. The branchial aperture is, as the name indicates, this is also, as it is also known as oral aperture, this is mainly concerned with the collecting food materials, or it represents the mouth of this organism. Okay, this is 8-lobed. When you observe by means of keen observation, you can see that the structure is filled with the 8 lobes. Okay, and this is representing the anterior end of Ascidia. So this branchial aperture or oral aperture representing, or mouth is representing the anterior region of Ascidia. Okay, then comes to the atrial aperture. This very close to this branchial aperture, you can see another aperture that is called the atrial aperture. Okay, this atrial aperture is representing the dorsal surface of this organism, and this, unlike this branchial aperture, it is 6-lobed. Okay, and connected to or attached to this both oral aperture as well as atrial aperture, you can see another region that is called the atrial siphon as well as branchial siphon that we will discuss. Okay, so what is the peculiarity of these two openings? Come to the branchial aperture. Actually, water enters into the body from the surrounding water by means of this branchial or oral aperture, and from the body, after the circulation of water, it leaves from the body into the outer region or into the seawater through this atrial aperture. So one aperture is concerned with the entry of water and the other aperture is concerned with the exit of water, and hence we can see that jets of water will be expelling from both these two aperture, one for entry and other for exit. So it is popularly known as sea scutes. Okay, or when you press at this in these regions, you can see that jets of water will be expelled through these two openings, and hence it is called sea scutes. Clear? Then come to the morphological features. Test or tunic. We have already discussed in the previous chapter, that is, what are the salient features of subphylum Urochordata, where we have discussed that what is meant by a test or tunic, right? The whole body of all Urochordates are covered by a particular integument or tough integument or a skin. This is known as test or tunic. This test or tunic is actually made up of a polysaccharide. Okay, so this is a soft leathery translucent structure, generally composing around 60% of cellulose. Cellulose is a polysaccharide, and the possessing this particular test or tonism as the peculiar feature of all Assyrians. Okay, if you are taking the histology of this test or tunic, you can see that 4 different types of cells are seen. What are they? Wandering cells, intercalating fibril cells, minute calcareous spicule cells, and branching blood vessels. So all these 4 different types of cells that you can see in the matrix of this test or tunic. Actually, it is a connective tissue. Okay, so that's all about the outer covering. Then comes the body wall. The body wall is the region which is generally formed just behind the test. So the test is, this is the outer covering, and just behind or below this test you can see the body wall. This body wall is called the mantle, and this mantle generally composed of 3 distinct layers: an outer epidermis, middle mesodermis, and inner endodermis. Okay, this will represent the outer region, this will represent the connective tissue or middle region, and this will represent the lining of atrium or cavity. And come to the matrix. This matrix generally composed of different types of cells. What are they? Muscle fibers, blood vessels, nerve fibers, and the neuroblastic cells. So all these 4 different types of cells that you can see in the matrix of the body wall of Assyria. Okay, so what is the peculiarity of this mantle in the body? The mantle is generally attached to only two regions, where it only attached only at the one of the region is found at the oral or branchial aperture, and another region is found attached to the atrial aperture. So those area where the mantle is attached is called oral or branchial siphon when it is present just behind the oral aperture, and those region which is found associated with the atrial aperture is called the atrial siphons. Okay, so oral siphons and atrial siphons are the 2 attached regions of what? Mantles in Assyrian's body. So these oral siphons as well as the atrial siphons can be opened or closed by means of muscular activity. By sudden contraction, what happens? By the sudden contraction of this oral as well as this atrial siphons, what happens? The jets of water can be expelled through these 2 openings, and hence it is called the what? Sea skirt. Clear? Then comes the 2 another regions, that is atrium and cilium. We know that what is meant by atrium. Atrium is actually a cavity which is literally known as peribranchial cavity, and this is formed secondarily inside the mantle. The anterior cavity is generally formed by means of the involution from the outer surface, and this atrium is enclosed in the pharynx region. It opens to outside by means of anterior dorsal by means of atriopore. So the cavity which is present in the atrium is generally opens to outside by means of atriopore. Clear? Then comes the coelom. Due to the extensive development of this atrium, the coelom is very much reduced. In adult, this is represented by only 3 different cavities. They are renal cavity, pericardial cavity, and a gonadal cavity. Okay? Thank you. I hope you understood. If you have any doubt, please do in the comment section. Thank you.